But it got worse. Reyes found a box containing police department property.
I can't believe it. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's y'all boy Sluu Hustle. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Let's get right into this video, man.
FBI operation ended in dozens arrested, including police officers, sheriff's deputies, and 2 sheriffs.
3,200 violent gangs and drug dealers have been taken off the streets. Off the streets. Now, Director Patel and all of these agencies have also been working so hard on getting the leadership. But we are getting all the gang members off the streets and the drug dealers, Sinaloa, CJNG, MS-13, and more.
If she's talking about in the country, I'ma just be real, bro. I'ma just be real. If she's talking about it in the country, I feel like 3,200 drug dealers off the street is virtually still nothing. Think about how many people there is in this country. You mean to tell me we're bragging about grabbing 3,200, my fault, 3,200 people throughout the country? That's 3,200 people, bro. That might make up one of the smallest towns in the entire country. I don't think that was anything to brag about. That, to me, that's virtually nothing. Now, if we talk, you tell me you got 32,000. Okay, that's different. 3,200 and that's nothing. That's not that's nothing, bro.
TDA,
that ain't nothing, bro.
91 tons of drugs
that's not even a
have
game.
been seized as a result of this task force. We tried to put this in perspective for you. This would be filling 4 18-wheelers. 4. All the drugs just in the last month that have been taken off the street. 58,000 kilos of cocaine. Think about a big backyard swimming
now
pool.
She's talking.
That would fill 1.5 swimming pools. Just the powder cocaine that has been removed, saving lives this last month.
Now we're talking numbers.
All of these people around.
Now she's talking numbers that I can get down with. I think they could have left. She could have left the whole 3,200 out and said all this, and probably would have won more people over. Because eventually, I mean, not eventually, most people probably fucked around and just stopped listening.
On the table. 2,300 kilos of fentanyl powder and 2.1 million fentanyl pills.
Okay, yeah, sweeping the streets. Sweeping the streets.
And as the president said, more than 1,000 illegal guns.
May 8th, 2025, 5:47 a.m., Coral Gables, Florida. DEA Special Agent Victor Reyes pressed against the wall of a $12 million mansion, waiting for the signal to breach.
Whoa.
This was supposed to be a routine drug raid.
Hold on, bro. They said they had a nigga in the hold on. I don't want to get too far. They said a DEA agent was pressed against a 12. Hold on.
Intelligence indicated Carlos El Tigre Mendoza, a high-ranking CJNG cartel member, was using this mansion as a stash house. DEA expected to find drugs, cash, maybe weapons. Just another South Florida bust.
I thought they were saying.
But when the door blew open and
house.
Agents flooded inside, they found something that would change everything. Yes, there were drugs. 2.4 tons of cocaine and 680 kilograms of fentanyl hidden throughout the 12,000 square foot mansion.
Oh my. Whoa. That's. Yo, they're putting him underneath the prison, gang.
Yes, there was cash.
Person like that
$87 million vacuum sealed inside walls.
Underneath the prison.
But in El Tigre's private office, in a hidden room behind a false bookshelf, DEA agents discovered something far more disturbing. Police evidence room keys, Miami-Dade police uniforms, sheriff's office badges, surveillance equipment monitoring police stations, and a leather-bound ledger labeled monthly payroll, containing 3 years of payments to Sheriff Antonio Vargas and 17 police officers across Miami-Dade County.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They gotta give a nigga like this a prison of his own. Because he's able to, bro, he had 17 police officers and they're all 18, essentially, really 18 on his payroll. uniforms and keys to the evidence lockup. Fuck out of here.
In that moment, what started as a drug raid became the exposure of a $1.4 billion corruption network that had infiltrated 3 law enforcement agencies. The cartel wasn't just operating in Miami, they'd bought the very people supposed to stop them. How did a routine DEA raid accidentally expose the largest police corruption scandal in Florida history? Hit like, comment, and subscribe before we reveal how one mansion contained evidence that would destroy careers, end lives, and send a sheriff to prison for eternity. The mansion at 847 Coral Way was everything you'd expect from a cartel safe house. Gated entrance, security cameras everywhere, reinforced doors, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Biscayne Bay. The kind of property that screamed wealth, and the kind of wealth that came from moving tons of drugs. DEA had been watching Carlos Mendoza for...
Alright, I don't think the wealth has to come from moving drugs, though. His neighbors wasn't drug dealers. Let's
for
come
8
on.
months.
Come on.
Wiretaps revealed he coordinated CJNG operations across South Florida, receiving shipments from Mexico, processing cocaine, distributing to cells from Miami to Orlando. Intelligence suggested he kept large quantities of product and cash at his Coral Gables residence.
This is crazy.
A federal judge authorized a no-knock warrant. At 5:52 a.m., the battering ram hit the front door. Agents poured through the entrance, weapons drawn, clearing rooms with practiced efficiency. Mendoza was in the master bedroom, scrambling for a weapon. He was tackled, handcuffed, and secured before he could reach the nightstand where a loaded Glock waited. The initial search revealed exactly what DEA expected. In the garage, 400 kilograms of cocaine hidden inside a luxury SUV's modified compartment. In the basement, another 2 tons of cocaine vacuum-sealed in duffel bags.
Oh my gosh.
In the master bathroom, 680 kilograms of fentanyl stored in waterproof containers.
Oh my
In the kitchen, $23 million in cash, rubber banded and stacked in the pantry behind canned goods. But Agent Reyes...
When they say there's drug dealers and then there's major players out there, he's the nigga that's above the major player, you feel me? The guy that nobody ever really talked to. Nobody really see. Cause this shit, what? Bro. He most definitely had his, like, wherever he was at in, what do you say, Miami-Dade County? Yeah, that shit was on lock. They had that shit on lock. And damn near everything on this, you couldn't tell. If a nigga got it from somewhere else and it didn't come direct, like, and it didn't source back to him, that shit was gold.
Noticed something odd. The mansion's square footage didn't match the interior dimensions. There was missing space. He studied the layout and realized the office was too shallow. The back wall should extend another 15 feet based on the exterior measurements. He examined the bookshelf covering the rear wall, revealing a concealed room that would change everything. Inside was a command center that looked more like a police operations room than a cartel hideout. 3 computer monitors displayed live feeds from cameras positioned outside Miami-Dade Police Headquarters, the Miami Police Department's main station, and the county sheriff's office.
Nah. I'm not. Hold on. These niggas had at his house. He had what? He had footage of the police stations at his house.
Command center that looked more like a police operations room than a cartel hideout. 3 computer monitors displayed live feeds from cameras positioned outside Miami-Dade Police Headquarters, the Miami Police Department's main station, and the county sheriff's office. Radio equipment was tuned to all 3 agencies' frequencies, allowing real-time monitoring of police communications.
Yo, wow.
A wall-mounted map showed police patrol patterns, marked with notes about which routes were safe and which had honest cops who couldn't be bribed. And on the desk, in plain sight, sat the leather ledger. Reyes opened it with gloved hands. The first page was labeled Nomina Mensual, monthly payroll. What followed were 3 years of meticulous records documenting payments to law enforcement officers. Sheriff Vargas, $400,000 per month. Then 17 entries with badge numbers, first names, and payment amounts ranging from $50,000 to $150,000 monthly. Each entry included notes, raid warnings, evidence disposal, witness intimidation, escort services.
They made the entire case at that. Like, with police working for these niggas, they must have thought they was never gonna get caught. Like, they thought this shit was never. I'm gonna be able to stack up a couple hundred thousand, might touch a mil, maybe quarter mil or something like that, and get up out of here, find a new job, retire from the force or something. There's no way they thought they were about it. I mean, shit. From what I'm seeing and hearing, bro, I could believe it, though. I could definitely believe it, though. Like, yeah. Like, and at one point, you got to think about it. It probably started off as just the head dude and 5 of his best. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it probably came down to him and 5 of his best, and then they eventually grew out to be 18 of them. But, bro, that shit is insanely wicked, bro. Like, that's wicked, bro. I can't get over that shit.
The ledger totaled $3.2 million in monthly bribes. Over 3 years, the cartel had paid $115 million to corrupt the very people supposed to stop them, but it got worse. Reyes found a box containing police department property, evidence room keys from Miami-Dade police, official uniforms, spare badges, and body cameras. He found encrypted phones with text message threads between Mendoza and people identified only by badge numbers. Within 3 hours, FBI agents from the Miami field office had secured the mansion as a federal crime scene. The DEA drug seizure suddenly became secondary to the corruption evidence.
Hell yeah.
FBI began the painstaking process of analyzing 3 years of ledgers, encrypted communications, and surveillance footage. The pattern that emerged was devastating. Now they knew it was betrayal from within law enforcement. When evidence was seized and placed in police custody, corrupt officers with evidence room access would contaminate it, lose it, or destroy it. Critical evidence in major trafficking cases had mysteriously disappeared, forcing prosecutors to drop charges against cartel members who should have been convicted. When witnesses agreed to testify against the cartel, corrupt officers would access witness protection records and provide addresses to CJ.
Oh yeah. These niggas went all in, gang. These niggas went all in. They was even fucking getting the witnesses for him and all. Bro, these niggas went crazy for the cartel.
ANG enforcers. The ledger contained 8 entries marked "Witness eliminated" with dates and addresses. FBI cross-referenced these with unsolved murders over 3 years. 8 people who'd agreed to testify against CJNG had been killed within weeks of giving statements to police. The officers had signed their death warrants. And, perhaps most disturbing, when rival cartels attempted to move product through Miami, corrupt officers would arrest the crews on legitimate charges, then deliver them not to jail, but to CJNG enforcers. FBI worked in complete secrecy. They couldn't risk alerting any of the 18 corrupt officers.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't use Miami-Dade resources or trust local law enforcement. The investigation was conducted.
Yeah, you damn near, I ain't gonna lie, you damn near gotta sweep everybody. You gotta sweep everybody. Not a single police in Miami-Dade County can be left. I promise you, everybody's getting vetted. Even the names that I don't see in there, when we start coming through there, if you sweating, nigga, we on your ass too. Fuck is you sweating for if you know you really ain't did nothing? That your mans or something? Well, fuck that, nigga. You going down with him, nigga. What the fuck? This shit is
entirely by federal agents from outside Florida, operating under the deepest classification protocols. FBI obtained federal warrants for all 18 suspects. On May 15th, 2025, at 6 a.m., FBI executed Operation Blue Wall Down, simultaneous arrests of Sheriff Vargas and all 17 corrupt officers. FBI tactical teams hit 18 locations across Miami-Dade County in a coordinated strike designed to prevent any suspect from warning others.
What? Yo, no fucking way. No, yeah, these niggas went down. When I tell you, before we hear the sentencing and all that, I know they got the books. Everybody got the books. You know how much fucking money they just had to spend to do that? That nigga said they 18 coordinated simultaneous hit. What the fuck? 18 niggas got their cribs raided at once. Nobody's picking up the phone to make a call. We're grabbing every fucking body. Oh my gosh. Oh my
waterfront
gosh,
home in Key Biscayne, Sheriff Vargas was arrested in his driveway as he prepared to leave for work.
That shit costs.
FBI found $2.3 million in cash hidden in his garage, along with encrypted phones and cartel communications.
Oh my gosh.
Across the county, 17 officers woke to FBI agents at their doors with arrest warrants. Some surrendered immediately. Others tried to flee. One officer jumped his backyard fence and ran 3 blocks before being tackled by pursuing agents.
Hey, I give it to you,
2 officers
you
attempted to destroy evidence, frantically deleting files and smashing phones before FBI could secure them. One officer, facing the reality of life in prison, attempted suicide by swallowing pills, but was immediately given medical attention and survived.
Damn.
By 8 a.m., all 18 suspects were in federal custody. The news broke across South Florida like a thunderclap. The sheriff and 17 officers arrested on federal corruption charges. The implications rippled through every law enforcement agency in the region. May 16th, 2025.
This is crazy.
Attorney General Pamela Bondi and FBI Director Christopher Wray held a joint press conference in Miami alongside Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Yesterday, federal law enforcement arrested Sheriff Antonio Vargas and 17 police officers for operating a criminal enterprise on behalf of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. For 3 years, these individuals betrayed their badges, their departments, and the citizens of Miami-Dade County. They warned cartels about raids. They destroyed evidence. They provided witness addresses that resulted in murders. They arrested rival traffickers and delivered them to cartel enforcers for execution. They protected a $1.4 billion drug trafficking operation. The charges were comprehensive. All 18 faced federal counts of narco-terrorism, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, kidnapping conspiracy, and murder conspiracy. Their testimony provided devastating detail about how the corruption network operated, how officers were recruited, and how crimes were coordinated. Sheriff Vargas and 3 officers refused any deal and went to trial in September 2000.
I ain't gonna lie, because they wasn't trying to die. Those 3 and Brody was not trying to die. They or what do you say? The 2 and whoever, the ones that ain't tell was not trying to die. The ones that told, bro, you niggas is the shit's already done. We're done. We're cooked. Everybody's cooked. What the fuck could you say? They got the ledger. What the fuck could you say? Like, it's over.
25. The trial lasted 8 weeks. Prosecutors presented 450 hours of wiretapped conversations. The complete ledger documenting $115 million in bribes.
Damn.
Body camera footage showing crimes in progress. Financial evidence of unexplained wealth. And testimony from the 14 officers who'd pleaded guilty. The jury deliberated for 6 hours before returning guilty verdicts on all counts for all 4 defendants. In December, sentencing was severe. Sheriff Vargas received 8 consecutive life sentences plus 300 years, effectively ensuring he would die in federal prison.
For sure.
The 3 officers received sentences of 65, 75, and life without parole. For Miami-Dade County, the aftermath was painful but necessary.
So the 14 that told got off? Hold on. Whoa, what?
Governor DeSantis appointed an interim sheriff and ordered comprehensive reviews of all 3 affected departments. New protocols were implemented. Mandatory financial disclosure for all officers, random integrity testing, FBI
But what
liaison
happened to
positions
those
in each
14
department,
officers,
protected channels for reporting corruption, and federal oversight of major operations. The impact on cartel operations was immediate. Without law enforcement protection, CJNG's Miami network collapsed. Federal agents, no longer worried about leaks, executed raids that seized an additional 18 tons of drugs and $340 million in cash over 6 months. Trafficking routes that had operated with impunity were disrupted. The organization that had paid $115 million for protection got nothing in return but prison sentences for everyone involved. For the families of the 8 murdered witnesses, the revelation that police officers had provided their addresses to killers brought grief and rage. Federal victim compensation provided financial support, but nothing could return their loved ones. People who'd done the right thing by cooperating with law enforcement, only to be betrayed by the very officers they'd trusted. President Trump addressed the scandal during a speech on cartel violence.
I never heard of
a sheriff and 17 police officers in Miami were arrested for working with drug cartels. They didn't just look the other way, they actively helped poison flow into American communities. They got witnesses killed, they protected murderers, they betrayed everything the badge represents.
Man, they did everything
but they were
the
caught,
but protect
they were
prosecuted,
and they will spend the rest of their lives in prison. As evidence recovery teams finished processing the Coral Gables mansion months later, the full scope became clear. What started as a routine drug raid had accidentally exposed systematic corruption that had operated for years. One hidden room, one ledger, one decision by a cartel leader to document his crimes meticulously, and 18 lives destroyed by greed. If you believe these stories...
Man, I tell you this. Everybody involved most definitely thought, look, man, as long as I'm getting a piece of the pie and I can stack enough of this shit, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be around when this shit get, you feel me? If it ever goes down, I won't be around. I'm telling you, that's what they had to think. But it's your boy Sluu Hustle. And if you like content like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See y'all again in the next one, man.